Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to talk about something that might sound a little shaky: earthquakes. But don't worry, we're going to explore it together in a super fun and easy way. Imagine the Earth is like a giant puzzle, made of huge pieces called tectonic plates. These plates are always moving, but most of the time it's so slow we don't even feel it. They slide past each other, bump into each other, and sometimes pull apart. Now, think about what happens when you try to slide two rough puzzle pieces past each other. They get stuck, right? Pressure builds up, and then suddenly, snap, they move, and you feel a little jolt. That's exactly what an earthquake is. It's the sudden release of energy when these giant tectonic plates get unstuck and move. This energy travels in waves, and when those waves reach the surface, the ground shakes. You might think earthquakes only happen in places like California or Japan, which are right on the edge of these big plates. But guess what? Earthquakes can happen in the middle of a plate too. And that's what we're going to dive into today, focusing on a really interesting spot in the United States, the new Madrid Seismic Zone. This zone is a bit of a mystery, and it's right under parts of Missouri, Arkansas, Tennessee, and a few other states. So what's a seismic zone? It's just a fancy term for an area where earthquakes happen. The new Madrid Seismic Zone is special because it's not at the edge of a plate. Scientists believe there's a very old, deep crack or a weak spot in the Earth's crust underneath this area. It's like having a little crack in your puzzle piece. Even though the whole puzzle is moving together, that one weak spot can slip and cause a quake. Let's travel back in time, way back to the winter of 1811 and 1812. Over a few months, this very area was hit by some of the most powerful earthquakes in the history of the United States. They were so strong they made the ground roll like waves on the ocean, caused the mighty Mississippi River to flow backward for a short time, and even rang church bells as far away as Boston. Imagine that. People living there at the time were totally surprised because they never expected something like that to happen in the middle of the country. These historical quakes tell us that this area is capable of some serious shaking. Fast forward to today, and we see that this zone is still active. It experiences hundreds of small earthquakes every single year. Most of them are so tiny that nobody can feel them, but scientists have special instruments called seismographs that can detect them. It's like the Earth is having tiny hiccups all the time in this spot. Recently, there has been a noticeable increase in these small quakes in the Missouri and Arkansas region. We're talking about a swarm of little tremors. Now, before you start to worry, this doesn't automatically mean a big one is coming tomorrow. Sometimes these swarms are just the fault system letting off a little steam. Think of it like a soda bottle. If you shake it, pressure builds up. If you open the cap a tiny bit, you hear a fizz as the pressure is released slowly. That's kind of what these small quakes are doing, releasing a little bit of built-up stress. So why is this happening now? Well, the tectonic plate North America sits on is constantly being pushed and pulled by forces from its edges. This pressure travels through the plate, and when it reaches that old, weak spot in the new Madrid zone, it can cause the faults to slip. A fault is just a crack in the rock where movement happens. The new Madrid zone is a whole network of these faults. Scientists are watching this area very, very closely. They use GPS sensors to track the ground's movement, even if it's just by a millimeter. They study the patterns of the small quakes to understand what's happening deep underground. It's like being a detective, piecing together clues to understand the Earth's behavior. They want to know if this recent swarm is just normal background noise or if it's a sign that stress is building up. Now let's talk about what this means for people living there. The biggest concern is preparedness. Because big quakes in this zone are rare, people might forget that they live in an earthquake-prone area. Unlike in California, where buildings are often built to withstand shaking, many buildings in the Midwest are not. This is why it is so important for everyone to know what to do if an earthquake happens. The magic words are drop, cover, and hold on. If you feel the ground shake, drop to the floor. Get under a sturdy table or desk. This is your cover. And then, hold on to the leg of the table or desk until the shaking stops. This protects you from falling objects, which are one of the biggest dangers during a quake. It's a simple action that can make a huge difference. It's also a great idea for families to have an emergency plan. Know where you'll meet if you get separated, Have a kit with water, food, a flashlight, and a first aid kit. Being prepared isn't about being scared. It's about being smart and confident. It means you know what to do and you can help yourself and your family stay safe. The science behind predicting earthquakes is still developing. We can't say for sure, an earthquake will happen next Tuesday at 2 p.m. But we can identify areas where the risk is high, like the new Madrid Seismic Zone. By studying the patterns of these recent quakes in Missouri and Arkansas, scientists are gathering more data to build better models. Every little tremor machine them a clue. So, to sum it all up, the Earth is made of moving plates. The middle of the U.S. has a weak spot called the new Madrid Seismic Zone. This area had huge quakes a long time ago, and still has many small ones today. Recently, there have been more of these small quakes in Missouri and Arkansas. Scientists are watching this to understand if it's just the Earth letting off steam or something more. And for everyone, a little bit of preparation goes a long way. It's fascinating to think about the powerful forces at work deep beneath our feet. These events remind us that our planet is alive and constantly changing. By learning about them, we can better understand the world we live in and how to live safely within it. So the next time you hear about a little earthquake, you'll know exactly what's going on. It is just our planet, its giant puzzle pieces shifting around. Thanks so much for joining me on this shaky adventure today. I hope you learned something new and interesting. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a big thumbs up, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell so you won't miss our next exploration. Stay curious, stay safe, and I'll see you in the next video.